Let's get one thing straight. They lied to you. They told you that being a man means conquering women. That the more women you sleep with, the more powerful you are. That your worth is measured by how many bodies you rack up. And you believed it. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. If you are controlled by lust, you are not a man. You are a slave. Who really has the power? Ask yourself, who's actually in control? The man who needs women to feel like somebody? Or the man who is so locked in, so disciplined, so focused that women chase him, and he doesn't even flinch? The truth. Most men today are weaker than ever. Not because they aren't sleeping with enough women, but because they can't control themselves. Their minds are wired for cheap dopamine. Their energy is wasted chasing validation. They call themselves alphas, while bowing down to their own impulses. And the worst part? Most of them don't even see it happening. The programming that keeps you weak. You've been conditioned. The music you listen to. The movies you watch. The influencers you follow. They all push the same lie. Get the girls, get the status, that's what makes you a man. But what happens when you build your identity on something you don't even control? You lose. Every time. Because here's what they won't tell you. While you're out chasing women, your competitors are chasing success. They're building businesses. They're stacking money. They're sharpening their bodies and minds. And you, distracted, out of the game before you even realized there was one. So ask yourself, right now, who's really winning? Because if you don't control your desires, you're not a leader. You're not an alpha. You're just another pawn in the system, running in circles, while the real players take everything you're too blind to see. That's why this channel exists. Man-to-man code isn't for the weak. It's not for men who want feel-good advice or easy answers. It's for men who are ready to wake up. So let's be clear. If you're looking for a place that will tell you what you want to hear, go somewhere else. But if you're ready for the truth, the real truth that most men will never understand, then you're in the right place. Because here's the reality. The clock is ticking. Either you wake up now, or you stay stuck forever. So tell me, are you going to be another lost man chasing the same distractions? Or are you finally ready to become the kind of man that women chase, money follows, and the world respects? The choice is yours. The dark side of lust. Let's be brutally honest. If you can't control your lust, you can't control your life. It doesn't matter how many women you've slept with. It doesn't matter how many options you think you have. If your decisions are driven by the urge to chase women, you are not in control. You are controlled. And that's exactly what society wants. The dopamine trap. Let's talk about addiction. Most men don't even realize they're addicts. They don't see the pattern. Mindlessly scrolling on social media, chasing likes and DMs, swiping endlessly on dating apps, hoping for validation. Late-night urges pulling them into meaningless hookups or another mindless hour of adult content. It's a cycle. And just like any addiction, the more you feed it, the weaker you become. Every time you give in, you're training yourself to choose instant gratification over long-term success. Your mind gets weaker. Your willpower gets lower. Your ability to delay pleasure, one of the most powerful traits of high-value men, disappears. And the worst part? Most men will never escape this trap. They'll waste years, chasing short-term pleasure instead of building long-term power. The cost of weakness. Every second you spend chasing women is a second stolen from your mission. Let's get real. What could you have built in the time you spent texting girls who don't even care about you? How much money could you have made? How much stronger could you be? Physically, mentally, financially. How much sharper would your mind be if you weren't addicted to cheap dopamine? The answer? You'd be unrecognizable. But instead, most men waste their prime years chasing validation, wondering why they feel empty. They don't realize that the pleasure they're chasing is the very thing keeping them weak. The men who changed the world weren't chasing women. Look at history. Look at the men who actually mattered. Were they out chasing women? No. They were too locked in, too disciplined, too focused on a higher purpose to be controlled by base urges. Alexander the Great, Nikola Tesla, Bruce Lee. These men didn't let lust consume them. They consumed their mission. And because of that, they became immortal. The choice you have to make. So now, you have a decision. Do you keep playing the game designed to keep you weak? Or do you take control, discipline yourself, and become the kind of man who doesn't chase, but is chased? Because here's the harsh truth. Weak men chase pleasure. Strong men chase greatness. So, the real question is, which one are you? The lies you've been sold. Let me ask you something. Who benefits from you being weak? Because make no mistake, the system is designed to keep you exactly where you are, distracted, controlled, and chasing things that don't matter. And one of the biggest lies they've fed you? That your worth as a man is measured by how many women you sleep with. The illusion of the player lifestyle. Turn on any rap song, any movie, any influencer pushing the so-called high-value lifestyle. What do they all glorify? The guy drowning in women. The guy popping bottles in VIP, surrounded by models. The guy flexing his status online. And you bought into it. You thought, if I can just get that, if I can just be like that, I'll finally be respected. I'll finally feel like a man. But let me ask you something. Have you ever met a man who constantly chases women and is actually winning in life? Because here's what they don't show you. The guys in the club every weekend? Broke. The ones flexing their game online? Desperate for validation. The men drowning in women? Not in control of their own lives. What do all real high-status men have in common? They don't chase. They attract. And they attract because their energy is spent on building, not chasing. The cost of indulgence. Every second you waste trying to impress women, you are robbing yourself of something greater. Time, energy, focus. These are the three most valuable things you have as a man. And yet, most men trade them for cheap pleasure. Ask yourself, how many hours have you wasted texting girls who barely text back? How much energy have you drained trying to impress women who never respected you? How much focus have you lost chasing a lifestyle that only leaves you empty? Now imagine if all that effort went into your business, your body, your mindset. How much further would you be? How much stronger? How much more powerful? This is what they don't want you to figure out. The moment you stop chasing, you start winning. The second you redirect your energy from chasing women to building yourself, everything changes. Women start respecting you. Money starts coming to you. Opportunities appear that you never saw before. Because now, you're playing a different game. So let me ask you, are you going to keep believing the lies? Keep running in circles? Keep wasting your time? Or are you finally going to break free and focus on what actually matters? Because the next section, that's where we talk about what truly makes a man powerful. And if you don't hear this, you'll never reach the top. What makes a true alpha male? Let's set the record straight. An alpha male is not defined by how many women he sleeps with. That's a boy's game. That's a game for men who need validation to feel like somebody. A real alpha? He doesn't need anyone to tell him he's valuable, because he already knows. He doesn't chase, because he's too focused on building himself. And you only reach that level when you stop being a slave to your urges and start being a master of yourself. Self-mastery about women. Here's the cold truth. If you can't control your own desires, someone else will. And most men, they're puppets, controlled by their impulses. Swipe, click, chase, repeat. They think they're making choices, but in reality, their biology is making choices for them. The men who win in life, the real alphas, are the ones who master themselves. They don't let lust, distractions, or external validation dictate their actions. They control their time, their mind, their energy, and because of that, they control the game. Discipline over indulgence. Here's a hard pill to swallow. Your daily habits predict your future. Weak men indulge. They take the easy road. They prioritize comfort over growth. They chase quick dopamine hits instead of long-term success. Strong men. They sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term power. Discipline is what separates winners from losers. Discipline builds the body. Discipline builds the bank account. Discipline builds the influence. And guess what? Women respect discipline. They can sense when a man has self-control. A man who isn't desperate for them. A man who has options but doesn't waste his energy chasing. That's true power, not thirsting after every woman who gives you attention, but having the ability to walk away because you have bigger things to handle. Building real status. Forget game. Forget tricks. Forget trying to impress women. That's low-level thinking. You want real status? You want to be a man that commands respect? Then start focusing on the 4 pillars of power. Money. Financial freedom gives you options. A broke man has no leverage. Physique. Your body is a walking billboard for your discipline. Look weak. You'll be treated weak. Influence. Your ability to lead, communicate, and impact others is what separates leaders from followers. Mindset. Your mentality determines everything. A strong mind creates a strong life. Master these, and you won't need to chase. Everything will come to you. Commanding respect versus chasing validation. There are 2 types of men in this world. The man who chases, desperate for approval, bends over backward to impress, needs women, status, and external validation to feel like he's worth something. The man who commands, walks into a room, and people feel his presence. Doesn't seek attention, it follows him. Doesn't need validation, he validates himself. And the difference between the 2. One is needy. The other is in control. So, which one are you? Are you going to keep playing the game designed to keep you weak? Keep letting your impulses dictate your future? Keep living for validation instead of power? Are you going to take full control of your mind, your habits, and your future? Because in the next section, I'm going to show you exactly how to break free. And if you don't hear this, you'll never level up. How to reprogram your mindset. Let me hit you with a truth most men never realize until it's too late. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. Most guys, they're mentally weak. They chase validation. They crave approval. They let their emotions, their urges, and their environment dictate their actions. And that's exactly why they lose. If you want to separate yourself from the masses, if you want to be the man who commands respect instead of begging for it, you need to reprogram your mindset from the ground up. Because right now, you're running on a script that was designed to keep you weak. It's time to delete that script and install a new one. Shift focus from external validation to internal growth. Everything in your life will change the moment you stop living for other people's approval. Most men walk around like puppets, doing things just to be liked, accepted, or validated. Posting on social media, hoping for attention. Hitting the gym just to impress women. Chasing money, not to build freedom, but to flex on people who don't even care. That's a losing game. Because when your self-worth depends on external validation, you are never in control. But the second you shift your focus inward, when you start doing things for yourself because you want to grow, because you refuse to stay the same, you become untouchable. Your confidence is no longer borrowed, it's built. And that's the kind of confidence no one can take away from you. Detox from lust addiction, NoFap, monk mode, and discipline. If you want to rewire your brain, you need to break free from lust-driven distractions. Porn. Cut it out. It's frying your dopamine receptors and turning you into a passive consumer. Casual sex. Stop letting lust drain your energy and keep you off your purpose. Mindless social media scrolling. It's keeping you mentally weak and thirsty for attention. This is why NoFap, monk mode, and extreme discipline work. They reset your mind. They force you to reclaim your self-control. You think it's just about not watching porn? No. It's about rewiring your entire relationship with desire. It's about proving to yourself that you run your life, not your urges. Because when you have full control over your body, your impulses, your thoughts, you become unstoppable. Prioritize mission over women. Your purpose attracts quality. Here's the irony: the more you chase women, the more they run. You think high-value women respect a guy who's constantly thirsting after them? No. They respect the man who's locked in. The man who's too focused on building himself to be chasing someone else's validation. You want women to respect you? Stop making them the priority. Put your mission first. Your goals. Your purpose. Because a man who is obsessed with his craft, his growth, his empire, he doesn't chase. And because he doesn't chase, he attracts. Women, money, power. It all starts coming to him because he's not desperate for it. How to naturally develop real confidence and status. Let's be clear, real confidence doesn't come from faking it. It doesn't come from pick-up lines, pretending to be high status, some trick you learned online. Comes from who you are. Confidence is built when you know, deep down, that you are valuable. Not because someone told you, but because you've earned it. Hit the gym and get strong. Not for women, but because a weak body leads to a weak mind. Stack your money. Not to flex, but because financial freedom means control. Build skills, improve your communication, expand your knowledge. Because a man with value doesn't need to prove himself. The more you grow, the more confidence becomes natural. It's no longer something you have to force. It's something you embody. So now the question is, are you actually going to do this? Are you going to break free from the programming that's been keeping you weak? Are you going to reclaim your self-control and start running your life with discipline? Are you going to build yourself into a man who commands respect instead of chasing validation? Or are you just going to keep scrolling, keep wasting time, keep living like every other weak man out there? The choice is yours. But just know this: the men who take action now will be unrecognizable in a year. The ones who don't, they'll still be stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing ever changes. So let me ask you one last time. What kind of man are you? Let's be real. Most men won't change. They'll watch this video, nod their heads, maybe even feel inspired for a few minutes. And then they'll go right back to their old habits. Right back to scrolling. Right back to chasing meaningless pleasure. Right back to waiting for life to magically change while they waste time. And the brutal truth? No one's coming to save them. The world doesn't care if you stay weak. Society won't hold your hand and guide you to success. No one is going to force you to level up. Either you take control, or you get left behind. Because whether you realize it or not, you are in a war. A war against distraction. A war against weakness. A war against everything designed to keep you soft, passive, and powerless. And every second you hesitate, you lose ground. Every moment you waste, your competition is getting stronger while you stay the same. And if you keep living like this, if you keep letting lust, comfort, and cheap dopamine run your life, you will wake up one day and realize you lost the game before you even knew you were playing. So here's the moment of truth. You have two choices. Ignore this message. Close this video. Keep living the same way you always have. Keep making excuses. Keep telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Step up. Right now. Take full accountability for your life. Cut out the distractions. Break the cycle. Become the man who is in control, not the one being controlled. Because if you can't even do that, then you never had what it takes in the first place. This isn't just another YouTube channel. This isn't content for entertainment. This is war. And only men who are serious about leveling up belong here. So don't subscribe because I told you to. Subscribe to prove that you're not like the rest. Drop a comment below. What are you doing today to break free from weakness? Because the weak ones, they'll stay silent. The strong ones, they'll take action. And if that's not you, then stop pretending you want to win.